There you go. Can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh, I was on mute.
That'll do it.
Hey.
What's going on, lady?
So let me ask you, because I was saying that I'm trying to keep my phone on the charger, but my little tripod thingy ain't really cooperating. So if I turn it this way, then is it okay this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it adjusted.
Adjusted how? Oh.
No, I'm saying it adjusted. At first it was flipped, but now you're good.
Okay, cool. Cool. Let me go run and grab my little drinky drink. I just knew you was gonna have on some
Allergy. I gotta promote, baby. I gotta promote.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Really have Perry? I think I got like 2 pieces of Perry, maybe.
When is your birthday?
September 6th.
I'm gonna get you something. I am. My birthday is in exactly 10 days, by the way.
Oh, exactly.
Exactly 10
days. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you know what I mean? I like all types of stuff.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you know? Oh, never mind. Keep going. What were you saying?
I was just saying I like all types of stuff. Hint, hint.
Hint, hint. I'm open to all types of presents.
Yeah. Yep. Man, this was okay. Yeah, let me go get my little sham pipple.
Get your sham pipples. There's Miss Simone.
Is she in her yard with her sunglasses on?
No, she's inside. Benadryl worked.
Okay, great.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, Shanine.
Hey, I love your t-shirt and your hair.
Oh, thank you, honey.
That is super cute.
That ain't shit.
You gotta send me the info, girl. Send me the info.
Oh, right now, 75th Street, near Soul Veg. I got it on Juneteenth, but I think they have them all the time.
What is it? The Culture Connection? Oh no, you said 75th.
It's a health food store. It's not like Soul Veg is on one end and then the health food store is on the other.
Okay, cute.
Thank you.
Cute. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Girl, I'm really not. My glasses. You see my eye?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I see it's a little puffy under there.
Yes.
Somebody beat your ass. You ain't got no allergies. Who whooped your ass?
I wish a nigga would. Let me
We gotta go. We'll ride right now. We
would definitely be riding right now.
Yes, we definitely would.
Playing no games in these streets.
Okay, I'll be back.
Get your drink. I need to get mine.
I'm drinking water today.
That's all right.
All these damn Benadryl I've been taking, I'll pass out somewhere.
Right. It's a spiky. We'll be like, what the fuck? Call the police. Somebody go get her. Somebody go get her.
My background today.
Come on, phone. Shit. What you got? What you bunching on?
Muffin, blueberry.
Shanae, your hair is cute too. It's growing.
Thank you, girl. Yes, it is definitely growing. I watched it yesterday. I couldn't believe it. My curls was just like, bam.
Right.
I was like, wow. That never happened.
Popping.
Couldn't believe it.
All right, we are.
Is it just the three of us? Okay.
Just the three of us, yeah. And couldn't do it today. Trying to just get my. Why is this not queuing up? All right. Tripping. Let's try this network. Go back.
Right. This is so good.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking. So, have you ever had the almond sparkling wine from Cooper's Hawk?
Oh no.
Okay, well, this is Trader Joe's version.
Okay.
And it is just really nice and tasty, just like a little champagne-y situation.
Nice.
But it's almond flavor.
Okay.
And it's good. And then it's like $6.99.
Yeah.
But it's actually pretty darn good.
Hey, you don't got to pay a lot for quality.
Yeah, Aldi has been teaching everybody that wine and that Prosecco. A friend of mine brought that Prosecco. He's like, I'm not telling anybody that it's from Aldi. Everybody's drinking it. He's like, you know where I got that from? They're like, where? He's like, Aldi, bitches.
Aldi, motherfucker, Aldi.
Yes. I love buying their wines and their sparklings, both Aldi and Trader Joe.
Yeah. I haven't tried Trader Joe's. I'm going to have to go in there. Yeah. Into their section.
And they have this other one that's like a peach Bellini. Okay. It's already just ready. All you gotta do is just chill it. Oh, it's really good. Nice. Mm-hmm. For like a little, morning or brunch situation.
Uh-huh.
I'm just trying to get this music queued up and it's acting crazy.
It was playing at first.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what it's doing now. It's just circling. That's weird. But I gotta have my music. I can't do without that. Girl, don't die.
Don't die.
Don't die. I get worried about y'all. Shit.
Brian, I think you should start making the time what time you tell the audience to tune in?
12.
You should start telling them like 12:15.
Fuck them. No, because you know they're gonna be late anyway.
He said fuck them.
They get the alert when I go live. They know what it is. I'm just trying to figure out why this will not connect. Maybe I have to do it through my Bluetooth. I mean, through my surround. That might have to do it. Let's see.
Well, I can say this. As many times as I've watched School Daze.
Another episode of the In the Zone podcast. But hold on, we got to play a little something for you to lead us in.
Come on with it.
Hey, Keisha was going for it in this scene. She was trembling and shit. Is it worth it? Pop it, pop it. Oh.
Ain't nothing on the TV.
On TV.
Y'all not ready for my moves.
I want your propositions. I want you here with me. Ooh.
No.
Look how good Jazz we got looking at boy. Woo. What's going on, y'all? Hey.
We can do that all day. Just
I can play that whole video. Another Saturday. Welcome to another episode in the Zones podcast. As you all already see, it's Movie Saturday, and we are doing the classic film, School Daze.
Yes.
As always, I have some of my perfect guests with me. Today we're doing a threesome. Ooh, watch out. I've got the most popular person.
Entanglements.
No, we're not doing entanglements. Hey, keep your head up, Will. I got your back. As always, I've got the most popular person I've ever done a podcast with on with me. You know her, you love her, Miss Kenny Simone. What's going on, lady?
Hey, my favorite movie is Shanine. Everybody, we ready today. It's good stuff.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. And then, of course, I got my Sora, as you can see in her, a.k.a. Frillies.
Yes.
Looking like pajamas, but I'm sure it's just silky. Miss Shanine Murphy, what's going on, baby?
Hey, everybody. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, y'all. Hey, so School Daze, a very, I think for everybody, integral part of coming up.
Yes.
I know for me, it was my first real look into college, what the Black college experience at least somewhat looked like, frats and pledging. I mean, I had an idea what that looked like. This was kind of my first peek behind the curtain to say, oh, that's the kind of crazy shit they do. Yeah. You know, just relationships, colorism, politics, you know, you name it, elitism, all these things. This go back to Africa movement, all this stuff rolled up into this one movie with singing and dancing. Hey, how can you beat it? It's a win. It's a win for everybody. So School Daze came out February 1988. Obviously one of Spike's earlier works, but it has some classic Spike in it, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. So it comes out in February 88. It is made for, and let me not be inaccurate, it was a budget of 6.5 mil. It made 14.5 mil, so successful. Not a raging success, but I think it's a very niche movie, and to make more than double your budget counts as a big success in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Had some very mixed critical reviews, but for the most part, my man Roger Ebert liked it, and a lot of other folks loved it. And it basically, for anybody that hasn't seen School Daze, I don't know where you've been, but if you haven't seen it, it's about life on this fictional, historically Black college pattern. Mission College. Mission College. Spike was very heavy-handed in his, and no subtlety in this movie at all. Mission College, based off of Spike's experiences at Morehouse, of course, Spelman and Clark and everybody in the mix around that area, and his college experience in the 70s. So it's about the homecoming weekend, Mission College, and all these different factions of people and their agendas about what's important to them. We have a character named Dap that's all about divesting from South Africa. Dap, Lawrence Fishburne, and then we've got a whole other cast of characters that are about the football game, that are about the parties, that are about Greek life. Spike Lee's online during this time and crosses this weekend. So you have all these people with differing interests, different factions, and they're really at war with each other based on a whole set of circumstances, not even just on campus, but just about Black life in general. So anyway, as I said, 1988, Spike Lee brings it out. I'm gonna ask Shanine first because this is always interesting. Where were you all at? Who'd you see it with? What were your first impressions? February 88. Did you go see it? Did you see it on DVD? DVD, VHS afterwards? Come on, School Daze. Where were you at? Who'd you see it with?
Okay, Brian. Okay. So, prior to going live, everybody, I mentioned that I did not want him to ask this question, even though I knew that he was going to ask it. But if you all have ever seen any of the episodes that I'm in, I can never remember where I was, except for Prince. I knew where I was. That was the first one. But I don't remember. I always remember the group of people, but I don't remember the first time I saw it. So both Kenya and I, we attended the same high school. Kenya said, well, I'll let her tell where she saw it. And I think that that's probably where I saw
it. Yes, it was about maybe like 15 of us. And we all went to Kenwood and we walked from our homes to the Hyde Park Theater, with the Harper Theater now. But it was a group of us and we were just giddy and just happy about life. And we went to that movie and it just woke up so many things in us. Like we sang I Don't Want to Be Alone Tonight all the way home. Mind you, we're sophomores. We don't really know what, I don't want all that. We weren't doing all that body rolling there. But it was just a group of us and it was great seeing it together in our neighborhood. So that was pretty dope.
That's what's up.
I think I've seen this movie about 100 times at least.
Yeah, I've lost count. I went to go grab, and yes, I still have the DVD. Yes, I do.
I do too.
I went to go grab it to put it in and realize the damn thing is broken. I think I didn't watch it so much I cracked it, so I had to watch it on Netflix. But so it's 88. I'm a sophomore in high school. Like I said, I'm old enough to get it, but I haven't had the college experience. So this is all kind of eye-opening for me.
Yeah.
And I hope my girl Erica's watching. Erica, if you're watching, what's up? So my best friend and his girlfriend and I were supposed to go to Evergreen Plaza and meet at the movies to watch School Daze. So for some reason, he got caught up doing something, and I wound up going up to the plaza without him. And then she wound up meeting me there, and we standing there waiting for him forever. He never shows up. I don't remember why he didn't show up, but he never shows up. So me and her wind up going to see this movie together. And we run into some folks from school that see us at the movie together, and they like, ooh. And we like, no, Craig is supposed to be here. Craig was supposed to be here. We don't know where this fool is.
Were they dating? The two of them were dating?
They were dating.
Okay.
It was my boy Craig, my girl Erica, and me. We were all supposed to go together, but me and Erica just wind up going because Craig fake. I don't know what happens to him. So we run into some schoolmates, and they like, oh, we caught y'all ass.
Entanglement.
Right. And entanglement with Foster. An entanglement with Foster. Anyway, so I go and I check it out. Evergreen Plaza, rest in peace. Ever Black. We get a what was those? Orange Julius.
Yeah.
So we go and check it out, and I'm just, I'm just enthralled with what, I'm 2 years away from college, but I'm all wrapped up into the story and what's going on, and the people and the interactions, and like I said, the pledging and the frats and all this. This is like mind blowing for a 15-year-old. But Shanae, you said earlier before we started, you said that it was interesting to rewatch this again today.
Yes.
How so?
And so, right, I was just saying, as many times as I've watched this movie, rewatching it in 2020 with everything that's going on with the racism and everything, and even the colorism. And I've been talking about this so much, that with everything that's happening as far as the racism, there's so many layers to us as Black people. And just rewatching this movie, like even just from the very beginning, the opening scene.
The intro, right?
The intro, right. It was just amazing just watching all of the powerful Black people who have come before us. So just watching it last night, I'm just like, wow, it took on an entirely different meaning. It means so much more now. And I encourage everybody to just, when you have a moment, rewatch the film, because now it's going to touch on things that we are experiencing right now.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Watch it with your kids. Expose your kids to school, especially the teenagers that, like Brian said, we were in high school preparing for college, and it really was like, wow, this is gonna be a dope experience.
Yeah, it's crazy. I agree with you, Nina. I'm rewatching it. It's interesting, obviously, 30 plus years later. The lens you see it in then, because what I remember when I first saw it was doing the butt and bikini parties and pledging and all, like a lot of the messaging is just right.
Yes.
Now, obviously, it's nostalgic. I remember, being young and doing that stuff or whatever. But now the message it resonates with me so much more. And it's interesting because we often have these conversations about, so we're doing all this protesting and all these things are happening to us in the world. And it's a new day, hopefully. Some things are changing. We've had this conversation. But people are always like, we can't get nowhere because Black people can't, they can't decide what they want to do, and we can't pick this, we never on one course, like you want to do this, I want to do that. And what School Daze always reminds me, what I always tell people when I have these conversations, is Black people are not a monolith. We are not just, there's not one way to do, one thing. We're all going to have some differing agendas, blah, 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 blah. I might feel what's important in this moment. Somebody else, Kenya, might have a different opinion on what's the agenda for the moment. Absolutely. All of it is for our betterment, but to think that all of us are going to be on one accord, moving in one direction and with the same voice isn't realistic. What really needs to happen is we can agree to disagree on the path as long as we understand that the mission and the movement are for the betterment of us, and not tear each other down because you don't agree with the way I'm doing it and I don't agree with the way you're doing it, and yada, yada, yada. And all these petty bickering beefs that everybody in this movie was getting into. And then, of course, as we said, Spike heavy-handed at the end. Wake up. Yes. Wake up, people. All of this is bullshit. Do not get distracted from what's important by your different opinions or different methods or whatever the case may be. It's all, at the end of the day, going to be better for us. Let's wake up and let that other nonsense go.
Yeah.
So, I completely agree with you, Dave. It's interesting to look at it from that lens today.
Yeah,
so, go ahead.
I was just saying that while watching it last night, I didn't even, sure, I watched it and I saw everything, but the Greek portion of it wasn't even like today was not, like you said, it wasn't, those messages went over here because today it wasn't even about Greek life for me as I was watching then. I'm just like,
although I have a few issues I will bring up later with some of the portrayals, but we will get to that.
I figured you all would. I'm like, I want to see what their perspective is on that.
There was some cut breaking going on and no repercussions. And from what I understand of pledging, because Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated does not believe in hazing in any way, shape, or form, that is not what happens. But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
That scrolling disclaimer across the bottom.
Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated does not condone hazing in any way, shape, or form. Any stories I tell today are from the third person perspective, and I've heard them from other people.
Not those of my own.
All right, y'all. So let's dive in. Favorite scenes in the movie, and there are a million of them. But what are some of the ones that jump out to you? Like if you're walking past the TV, oh, wait a minute, this scene is on. I got to sit and watch this part for a little bit.
Definitely the beauty shop. Riri's beauty shop.
Riri, open up, Riri.
They just like that was their way of coming to blows, if you will. That scene is so powerful and so amazing to me, and it really shed light on colorism, but on different levels, because all of the wannabes weren't light skinned and all the jigaboos weren't dark. So it was a mental thing, and it still is more than, a physical thing.
What's funny, I'm sorry, jump in there real quick, talking about this. So like I said, I was a sophomore when this came out, and you're talking about colorism and, the groups and the dynamics, whatever. So I was in this group called the Yellow Boys. Yes, I was. Shut up. Shut up. It happened. I own it. But what's funny about that is,
and you
shut up. That's not right. All of us were not light skinned though. So it was real, but it's funny how we fell right into this. Again, Spike's message went right over my head. And it wasn't even the way we got the name. Funny, talking about the Plaza. We used to hang together at the Plaza all the time. And it wasn't that we clicked up because we were light skinned. We just clicked up because we were cool. That's just how it just happened. We all happened to be light skinned.
Of course.
I think. Anyway. And we used to hang out at the Plaza, and this folks would always say, I'm sick of seeing you yellow motherfuckers together all the time, blah, 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 blah. We were like, man, we should get a little crew together. We should get a little clique. Oh, the Yellow Boys, let's do it, blah, blah, blah. And then anyway, we had Latinos in the group. We had dark-skinned brothers in the group. I want to say we had a white guy in the group, but I'm not quite sure if he was actually white. But anyway, that's not the point. But just the naming convention, like, is just stupid. Like, why? I mean, why? We could have been anything, and we went with this whole, colorism thing. Like I said, the whole message of the movie went over my head. I'm rewatching it this morning. I'm like, Yellow Boys, Jesus Christ.
Right.
But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. But so at Kenwood, a lot of people weren't wearing weaves back then like they are now. But those green and blue contact lenses, the hazel contact lenses. I don't know too many people that didn't, rock those in high school. So that was still my brown eyes aren't good enough. I need to be green but yellow was like so in the 80s. It just was. So I don't know. I think I've always been that like in between, color. So I didn't really get too far off into the colorism thing for me, or like for or against me and my shade, because I was kind of in the middle, but it was still, you weren't light enough, you weren't dark enough, whatever. That was really, really resonating in the 80s. So yeah, I was glad he touched on that in the movie. And then another great scene was, like Shanine mentioned, the opening. That intro was astounding. You just saw all these prominent Black people, prominent and not so prominent. He showed slaves and maids and Pullman porters. Then he would go from that angle to Marcus Garvey, Dr. King, Malcolm X.
Let's walk through Black history.
All throughout Black history. So it was a scene that it kind of grabbed you right from the very beginning, like, oh my God, what are we in store for here? We knew it was going to be something powerful because that opening scene was amazing.
And you got I'm building me a home. I'm building me a home.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to steal all of them, but
what you got? We got it.
The scene at KFC when the fellas got into it with what we called at U of I the townies.
Oh, come on, Kenny, you're not supposed to say that. We're not supposed to say count. The locals. Locals townies. Come on. But we did call them townies, though.
Right, but it was just showing, like we were talking about, the layers and the levels to the self-hatred and self-discrimination. The fellas were mad at the gammas, like, y'all ain't nothing and y'all all this light-skinned stuff. And then they go eat at a local restaurant, and the townies or locals are treating them the same way. Like, college ain't nothing. That don't make you nothing. We niggas. And they're like, we're not niggas. Like, stop it. But just those different levels. And they were in the car on the way back like, man, do we really come across like that?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing with the levels and just not being secure in our own sense and we're against each other so much in so many different ways. And Spike literally touched on almost all of them.
Almost all of them. Yeah, it's interesting because Dappy even tells him, he's like, hey man, you got a legitimate beef, but it's not with us.
With me. Right.
We not looking at you like that.
Right.
He's like, You represent all of you mugs that's been coming down here for decades, shitting on us. You are them. Yeah. And then of course Dab is like, you drip, 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 went right in or couldn't hold it. Couldn't hold it.
The fact whether I'm black. It went right in on us. They're like, this is exactly what we're saying. You think
exactly what we're talking about, right? Like you wasn't saying it, you was thinking it, and now it's coming out.
Now it's coming out. Yeah. So those are like my top 3.
Okay. Neen, what you got?
Definitely good and bad hair scene. That is my favorite scene of the movie. And as mentioned, the colorism, that when I said earlier that there are just so many layers to us as Black people, so while we're out here trying to be accepted by our white counterparts, we need to work on ourselves. And so I've been saying this, having this dialogue a lot since everything has been going on, that there are so many layers that we have got to get through. Light skin versus dark skin, literally good hair versus bad hair. What is that anyway? Degree or non-degree, like we hate on each other for all of those different reasons, who middle class, lower class, like we do it to ourselves when some of us feel like we got a little money or got a little job or got something going on, and we gonna look down on our brother and sister who have a little less or maybe haven't reached that point in their life. So that movie for me, that scene for me was major. I mean, then it was just beautiful, and the dancing. Like I even noticed the difference in the way that they dance. Like the wannabes, they were all angelic and flowy with their dance.
Very ballet, very ballet.
Yeah,
very ballet.
So it was
the jigaboo, the juking, like
one girl's backing up and she's like doing it.
And then I read or I heard in video or something about that particular scene that Spike Lee actually made. I think he made them stay in like different hotels or something. Obviously probably the wannabes stayed somewhere better, to create that tension between them. And it showed well on the scene. It was just a great scene. And there's so many layers to just being Black people that we need to kind of work out amongst ourselves first. And that's a classic example. There was a lot of hate in that movie actually for each other.
A lot. And that's interesting you bring that up, Shanine. I was gonna mention that later, excuse me. So Spike does make like the gammas and the gamma rays. Gamma rays, I'm sorry. They stay in a hotel with better accommodations, blah 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 blah. And then Lawrence Fishburne and his crew and the Jigaboos, they stay in another hotel with worse accommodations. So that fight that broke out at the step show,
was real.
Yeah, that was a real fight. That wasn't part of the script. And Spike was like, "Keep filming," because it had built up so much tension on the set that it actually spilled over into a scene, which is crazy. Spicy cheese. All right, you got any other ones that pop out?
Sure. Well, the step show would have been one of my scenes that I enjoy. Just watching that, because again, that was just a peek into Greek life and college life, campus life and things like that. So that was one of my scenes. The Coronation Dance, when what you led in with that scene where they did the dance, we loved that. That was our song. Like Kenya said, that was our song. We learned that dance. We learned the lyrics. I enjoyed the locker room scene too.
Ozzy.
Yeah, I enjoyed that when he was hyping them up, and then the parade scene when Virgil finally snapped out. And both of them, and he said, I'm tired of you niggas, or something he said like that.
Like, Virgil,
yeah. So that, and then KFC, it's so many, so many.
Yeah. So I got a couple. I'm gonna jump in there. We already talked about the opening sequence, like with that walk through Black history. Just he did something similar in the beginning of Malcolm X.
Malcolm X,
yeah. So the greeting scene in the beginning, Now this just speaks to me because of Greek life, obviously. But Dr. Feel Good, they giving them the greetings, and then Giancarlo's in Spike Lee said, "You are 5'5" piece of shit." Giancarlo's inflections are just so amazing in this movie. You could walk to. I'm stepping on my favorite lines now. You could walk to see your monkey ass back to Mother Africa if you want to. But that whole greeting scene just took me right back to, from what I understand, I've heard, being online and pledging folks. Just put me in a little time capsule real quick. I always love that piece.
That coronation scene that Shanine mentioned was, it resonates with me because I used to always flip through the Ebony magazines. They would show all the homecoming queens for all the Black colleges.
Yes.
So it's kind of like those pages coming to life.
Yes.
So I thought that was like a pretty dope scene. And I really honestly thought that I was gonna wear the one of the Gamma Ray's dresses for prom. My mother,
girl,
with the big bow at the bottom. You wanted the big bow?
all of that, please.
All of that.
I didn't know it was 109 pounds. What curves was that dress gonna hug?
Those dresses were tight, like literally,
like tight, literally.
Like, no, ma'am, moving on. I didn't graduate till 91, but I'm just saying.
Oh, that's funny.
How to get a thing.
Good and bad hair. Obviously, we touched on that. Great scene. Them catching wood again. This is just me being Greek. Just took me right back. But again, there was some ouching and some yelling and some breaking of the cut. These things aren't allowed. Don't like that.
So you heard.
Yeah, I was like, you better, boy. The talk they had in the dorm room about not getting put out. So Dap gets called into the dean's or the president's office. They threaten him with expulsion. He comes back to his boys. They threaten me expel me. But we gotta do something big. We gotta let them know we're not playing. And Booker T is like, hey man, like, I hear you, but I'm the first person in my history of my family to go to college. Like, I'm the first. My people are sharecroppers and blah blah blah. I'm not risking that for nobody. Like, I'm with you to a point, but I can't disappoint my family. Ain't nothing wrong with having a good job. Like, I think sometimes we get lost in the cause and don't realize. And then Bill Nunn has this line, which is one of my favorite lines as well. He's like, hey man, sometimes it's time to be quiet. It's time to shut the fuck up. And these are one of those times. Sometimes you do got to take a step back, be like, I'm gonna eat that today. So I can position myself better to make a change tomorrow.
That's right.
If I make noise today and I lose, I'm out of school, I don't have a degree, yada, yada, yada. You still haven't divested from South Africa.
That's right.
And I make change later if I'm not in a position to. So I just love that scene because they real like, hey man, I'm not risking all my shit for this. I'm sorry.
That's right.
Yeah. We talked about the Kentucky Fried Chicken scene already. Vaughn versus Julian when he gets out the car and he's like, which I never understood about this scene. And maybe they just speaking to the arrogance of Dak, but he's like, my cousin will cross. You will see to this, or we and you are gonna have problems.
Right.
Now, being in a frat, I wish some motherfucking cousin would run up on me. I walk down the street, my girl talking about, I better cross his cousin. What? Now he ain't cross. He ain't never crossed. He's out tonight. He'll be back. You blame for this shit. What are you talking about? I better do something. But anyway, and then Julian gives me the whole speech about, you don't know shit about Africa. You just all hot air. You know, blah, blah, blah. I just love that little short confrontation. I got a couple more. The step show we already talked about. So explain this to me. So Dap and them get up on the stage and get to do a little diss step. In whose school is this allowed at a step show? Is this a black school thing I'm unaware of? You can't just be hopping your GDI ass up on the stage and doing steps.
In the middle of the step show.
In the middle of the step show?
And you're not right. You're not a fraternity.
You're not
a sorority.
You're not an organization. We'd already made you stop marching in the parade. Now you just hop your monkey ass up on stage and you diss every frat. How far into that show do you think they get before they get bum rushed?
Exactly. Exactly. Like, yeah, they were foul. But you know what? And so even at the end of that scene, when they were walking off the stage, which leads me to wanting to say that Dap was disrespectful to women. because when they were walking off the stage, they were muffing little gamma rays.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
They were
all full of shit. Like everything about what they just like. All right, so you saw about black people, and even if you don't like the frats, the Greek life or whatever, cool, I get that. Some folks thought, we were full of shit. Cool, I get that. But you invest in a lot of energy in the dissing us. Like, motherfucker, should you be out some rallying or, leading a march or something? Why you on stage doing this dumb shit? And you make it all of 5 seconds on that stage before you get your ass. I'm just, especially once they did the whole Gammas of Sissies thing. The Gammas are just gonna sit there and watch that? Absolutely not.
Yeah, true.
Unrealistic, but I still enjoyed the scene.
Yeah, me too. A lot.
Yeah,
let me ask this. Complete side note. Mm-hmm. Who are the Gammas supposed to be? Are they just this mashup of all the frats? Like, they clearly have this dog thing, which is like the Q. But then they gamify Gamma, and they have like the pyramid during the parade. Clearly kind of calling on some alpha shit. They kind of supposed to be pretty boys and have the little Zorro capes and all that shit. Clearly some Kappa shit. So they just supposed to be a little mashup of everybody?
Maybe it was.
I think so.
Maybe it was.
I've been trying to figure this out for 30 years. Like, who are they supposed to be?
And I looked at the fellas kind of like the football team. You know how, like, at U of I, the football team would try to challenge. They didn't go as far as they did in that step show scene with, like, calling them out. But they would, like, walk around the parties with their shirts off. They would try to do a little stroll. You know what I mean? All the time. And I'm like, here we go again. Here we go.
Absolutely. Yeah. Those are some of the best fights ever. When the football team and the Kappas got into it at the House on Armory at U of I. Anybody from U of I watching this, you'll remember that. That was amazing. I don't even think I was in college. I think I was a senior, and I was down visiting.
Yeah, that story went down in history for years.
Yeah, and folks were getting tossed out windows. I was just like, damn, I'm coming here. This is college. Let's go. The crossing scene, again, resonates with me personally. Then Wake Up, obviously, though heavy-handed, is dope. And then the scene, which kind of is quiet, sneakily good. So Half Pint runs, he's beating on Dap's door, he's crossed, he's had sex with Jane, terrible. We'll get to that. God awful. But he's, he don't, in his head, he's fucked up. He's fucked up. And Julian sees right through it and sees, hey man, hey bro, you don't see the problem there that this man just passed this unsuspecting young lady to you, and now that you Greek and you didn't have some sex, like you don't see how fucked up that is.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, oh, you're not my cousin no more. He's like, you're not my cousin. I'm calling your mama. Da, 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 da. But it's just this, how you get so wrapped up in your own little crazy world.
Yeah.
You can't see the bigger picture. And just Dap's reaction to it is just classic to me. Like, what? You did what? Like, that's insane. And you can't even see that. I can't believe you can't see it. So anyway, those are the ones that kind of jump out to me.
I also like the scene where Dap was trying to apologize to Rachel and went to her dorm.
Oh, that's a good one too.
All of her dorm mates was just like, no, baby, not today, baby.
If I didn't care.
Yes. If I didn't care. That's where he was. That was another scene where I felt like he was disrespectful because he was cursing them girls out.
Well, I don't know. I think.
But go ahead, Katie.
He went with good intentions. Hey, Rachel. They like, oh, now you sorry again. So they kind of jumped out the pocket with him.
They came at him first.
Yeah, they did.
It's just like the Kentucky Fried Chicken scene. He was cool, but you push the button and then he went off. Man can only take so much. I'm out here pouring my heart out to my girl out the window, and your hating ass is up in the window pouring water on me and shit. Come on, what? Oh yes,
that was before the water came, and he told her to shut the fuck up or some shit.
She was like, nope. That was
no, you didn't. Oh yes, I did.
Tyler Perry on Tyler Perry shows.
Is that her?
Mother, yeah, that's her.
Yes, in the window with Shireen.
That was pretty dope to see.
She was
that.
in the window with Shireen from House.
It's Shireen. Yes, I knew that was Shireen. I don't watch the Tyler Perry shows, but I just
why was she eating butter cookies though?
Why was she ghetto?
In the window.
Shireen. Yeah, that's crazy. That is a good scene too, though.
It was.
All of that. I got a problem with this too. I'm picking nits with some of this movie shit. So why are her girls and all the girls in the dorm hating on Dap? Girl, you didn't never want to date nobody else. You didn't want to see what else out there. You've been dating Dap since you got on campus. Blah, 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 blah. What's up with that, ladies? Y'all just co-signing this? The girls in the window don't want to let them make up.
I think they were joking.
Oh, she wasn't joking.
No, I think they were serious. I mean, in the window scene, yes, but in her dorm with Spike Lee's sister, is that the scene you're talking about?
Yeah.
And they were like, come on, I know Dap's been dipping around. You just been dedicated to Dap. I know the scene you're speaking of.
Yeah.
I think that they knew like Dap was chauvinistic. Dap was a trip. Dap was his way or no way, which is why they were in that position. I don't want you to pledge Delta, so I'm just gonna be like, oh, whatever, you could get out of here with that. That's why he came back begging, because he was like, it's my way or no way. And he thought, even with his boys, in that scene you discussed, Brian, he was like, no, this is how it needs to be. They're like, wait a minute, slow down. Everybody has their own, everybody's here for a reason, and we have our own agendas, so stop it. Dap's way is not the only way. But he couldn't see that. And when she questioned him, like, I wonder if you're dating me because I'm one of the darker sisters on campus. It just looked good for his, whatever he was putting out there.
His image.
That was a trip.
I think they were joking. I think they were joking with her because right immediately after, when they saw that she wasn't, they were like, after they said that, yeah, you've only been seeing him the whole time, blah, blah, blah. And then when she was just like, yeah, then they're like, are you coming or not? I think that they were just kind of like trying to get her riled up to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm finna come out and kick it with y'all. I think that they were more so joking because they did say that, no, he's a good brother, that they did like him. I think that they might have just been trying to convince her to come out with them. I mean, okay, so they might have been half serious. That might have been really how they felt.
A whole lot of truth.
That might have been really how they felt. I think that they were just kind of like, come on, girl, come outside. Like, forget him. He probably doing his thing anyway. Come out with us. That's what I think.
These are all sensible commentaries, ladies. I appreciate it. Allow me to retort. They was hating. They was some lonely, no man having, hating ass girlfriends that wanted her to do bad because they ain't got no man of their own. That's what they was on.
No.
And I stand by it.
That's extreme. They didn't want her to do bad.
They did. She was trying to convince her to date other people.
They just wanted her to wake up.
Wake up. Okay, Dap's a little controlling. He's a little idealistic.
Yes.
I'll give you that. Fine. But he ain't dating nobody else. He not cheating on her. He loves her. He just wants her to kind of fall in step with his ideals. He's just like that with his boys, so at least he's across the board with it.
Yeah.
He's got some flaws. He's human. What did she say to him? Let us mere mortals catch a break. You're so judgy, yada, yada, yada. Fine. Dap has his flaws. But they trying to get my girl to step out on my man, to break up with him, to have other relationships. Why?
Have entanglement.
He ain't got no man. That's why.
Nada, you ain't got no man.
You ain't got no man. Hey, anyway, we gonna leave that one alone. All right, so best quotes, your most memorable quotes, lines from the movie.
Oh, so the one that I have, and there are many, 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 many good ones, but the one that I have is more on the serious side was when Dap, when he was sitting out there, this was pretty late. Like, I guess this is when he told, what was his girlfriend's name? That
Rachel.
He was going to be Rachel, right? That he was going to be late, it could be all night or whatever. So when he was still sitting out there and he was talking to the little group, that stayed out there with him. And he said, you put a sign on the bus that says all the fried chicken, drugs, and alcohol you want, and Black people gonna get on that bus.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, and I probably didn't really pay attention to that because it was like the scene was kind of fading out in that conversation or whatever. But that was just like, wow, like that's pretty major. And that's a stereotype that they feel like, oh, we like this chicken and I mean, I can't say as far as alcohol and the drugs because everybody likes that, but
Just said Jordans. You could have put Jordans in that mix.
That's just that was kind of big for me to hear that.
Yeah. That was
of course I had Wake Up. Just 2 words.
Mm-hmm.
So powerful at the end. That's one of my most memorable quotes. And then when Dap was talking to Rachel, he was like, I adore octoroon, quadroon, mulattoes. You know, it was like, dang, some of those terms I'd never even heard before when I watched the movie for the first time. Mm-hmm. And then when she checked him, like, and you're pure, huh? Master was in your ancestors' slave quarters.
Right.
It's like everybody else's.
Yes.
Stop it. Like, so those were good quotes to me. And then when he and Dap and Samuel L. Jackson were getting into it, and he was asking him, "Are you black?" You know, don't ever question the fact whether I'm black. That was another good one for me. So yeah, those were like the quotes that I had.
Those are good ones. I got a lot more.
Let's go. What you got?
So I already said one, but you are a 5'5" piece of shit. It's not so much what he said, it's the way he said
how he says it. Yes. Everything he said was great.
Oh my God, he was amazing in this movie. You're gonna take this $5 bill. You're gonna go to the pet store, and you're gonna get a cat. You're gonna put it in the cage. You're gonna pass that cage. Pass. Listen. Now it's funny that they start singing it, but it's also funny to me that. Did I just freeze up? Am I good? Anyway, I'm good. It's also funny to me that when you're online, the way you knock this wall down, he's go knock it down, whatever, simple shit. But it was just funny to me that was the way they was thinking to get out of getting their ass whooped that night. Mm-hmm. What I hear about pledging.
From what I heard. If
there's in life, there are times to be quiet, to shut the fuck up. This is one of them, as stated. Bill Nunn. You know how many women I done blended in their backseat? I can't tell you how many times me and my boys have said that stupid shit.
Lord.
But completely out of context. Like
look. Bone, because he said bone.
He said bone.
You know that's my word, and they told him he got to use something else because he running bone into the ground. You know, boning is my word, so yes, blending. And I'm like, I like blending too.
And we'll be outside like shooting hoops, and you might hit 3 shots in a row. You're like, you know how many honeys I done blended? He's completely out of context, but that's one of my favorites. Bone, right? Bone used to be the word back in the day. You turnstile hopping chain snatchers. That's like the little man's funniest thing he said in the whole movie. I forget his name, with the glasses.
Oh yeah.
Got him turnstile hopping chain snatchers. That was hilarious to me. Kadeem, ready for the world's popping shit.
Oh,
yes, that was so hilarious. I almost cried last night when he said that.
Kenya already touched on this. Y'all niggas, and you gonna be niggas forever, just like us. Mm-hmm. Niggas. You are not niggas.
And it was the way he stepped up to his face,
right.
Nose to nose, like, we're not.
I never realized Sam Jack was that much taller than.
Oh, then Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, I thought they would
say that, but then get out of here. To the black colleges, whatever they were trying to come back, but they
never. Face to face to him. When he comes up to Julian, you're a simple weak motherfucker. Oh no, you're a simple weak motherfucker, but that's besides the point.
Right.
That's a fight right there. You're not even getting past that part.
Yeah,
we going right there at that point. You talk more shit than a little bit. Back to Mother Africa. It is without question, we are all Black Americans. You do not know a goddamn thing about Africa. I'm from Detroit, Motown. You can watch Tusi your monkey ass back to Mother Africa if you want to. I love that delivery of that line. That's just hilarious. But it's also very indicative of this thinking that some people have and other people don't, right? Like, you can talk all that going back to Africa shit, but you ain't never set foot on the continent.
Yeah.
Right.
You could probably name 13 countries in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You got all this highfalutin talk about Africa. You from Chicago. Let that shit go. Yeah. We need to make a way here. Figure that shit out. And me and you will kind of blows later about some bullshit. Just name 2 girls you had. Quick. We done.
I'm sure, yeah.
This is what he said. Sally Mae or Sandy Mae or somebody. Susie Mae.
Susie Mae in high school, freshman year of high school. But whenever to this day, whenever we think when our boys was shit, we like, quick, how much it costs? Quick. Motherfuckers be stuttering. And if you don't scream, I won't holler.
Yes. I had that one too. I had that one in my blackest scenes.
If that hasn't made it, that's probably the one that's made its way into the vernacular the most.
Mm-hmm.
You don't scream, I won't holler.
Won't holler. Yeah. I also like Dean, Big Brother Almighty.
Dean, Big Brother Almighty.
Yes.
I like all their. I like when they do all of their like Dr.
Yeah, that was good. There's so many gems in this movie.
Yeah. So many. All right. So you just mentioned it, Kenya. Mm-hmm. What's the blackest thing that happened in this movie? So much. I mean, it's clearly a black movie, but this shit is blickety black up in here.
So my first one was Jane licking Dean, Big Brother Almighty, all in his S curl. Come on,
girl.
What the?
And the brand. She got her friends, his S curl. Wow, perfect match is playing. If they ain't a black scene, then I don't. That was black.
Perfect match.
Yes, and we were all like,
right, like really? She loved him.
Yes.
When they lay out at the end all spent.
Yes.
All spent.
And then Dap, when he was rolling all of Grady's dirty clothes up in the blanket or whatever it was, stack up, spraying the whole can of air freshener. Like, clean up your room. You know you want to have company tonight.
Right.
We talked about this earlier. Stop it.
Well, he said it was his roommate.
Yeah, it was Grady's stuff.
It was Grady's stuff.
But he was rolling it up and just stacking it, hid it under a pillow and under the blanket. Like,
well, one, what was he doing all day? He didn't do this beforehand. And two, him and Rachel been together this whole time. Why he got out in the hallway? She know his boy is a mess. Why? Right. What's the secret here?
No secret there. And then Dean, Big Brother Almighty, putting his pimp hand down and encouraging Jane to sleep with half pint, and then playing it like, you did what? I didn't tell you to do that. You did what?
Wait, like, why we just putting this on black men? Why are we just putting that on black men?
Well, that was a pimp scene. That's all. I'll say that.
Okay, all right.
He put his pimp hand down.
Okay, I got you.
It was, it was black. That's what it is, Brian. That's why. Because
that's mine.
Because brothers be bugged out thinking they can do anything.
And you don't think white frat boys do this type of silly shit all the time? Of course they do.
White frat boys weren't in school days. No.
Fine, fair.
And then, like you just said, if you don't scream, I sure won't holler. Super duper, yeah. So those were mine. And then he tried to play it off with his boys in the hall, like, have a good day.
Right. Thanks for walking me back.
Thanks for walking.
Wait, why would they sit in the hallway anyway?
So
I was wondering that too, but then I just figured, well, maybe they just wasn't ready to go
in. Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe they
in their room.
But they couldn't go in one of they. I'm assuming two of them cats live in the same room together. Why didn't they just go in the room? Why did they sit down?
I guess if they had all been in their rooms, then they wouldn't have they wouldn't have had a chance to see their boy get played.
I know it plays a part to the movie. I'm just saying, and realistically, like they didn't have nowhere else to be but in the hallway.
Or maybe they was waiting for him to get there to kick it in it, but he had a girl coming.
Maybe.
They got their legs stretched out, wouldn't move him. He had to kick him like, get out the way. You see a lady? It's a lady coming. You see
a lady coming. It's a lady present.
Yes.
I got a problem with this. I got a problem with this too, in the movie in general. So they're seniors. Why are they so lame? And let me say it like this. So clearly, Dap has his girl. He's had her for since freshman year. Maybe they've been together the whole time. Mm-hmm. But the rest of them don't appear to have any type of play with the ladies. Bill Nunn is on the football team. He gotta have, I would assume. But the rest of them just seem to be goofy, like lame, like no unsuspecting freshmen you could have been getting on. What's happening here? Yeah. What's the problem?
They were
at the end, and right, so we still can't remember his name, but so the nerd at the group, he was girl was all hugged up on him, honey.
This is the first time I'd noticed that when I rewatched this morning. In all the years I've seen, that's the first time I've noticed that. That
Monroe
he had
is his name. I was like, is it Marshall? It was Monroe.
Monroe. That's right. Monroe did have a girl at the end.
Yeah, her hair was so blow dry straight, baby. Little mushroom was so blow dry straight.
Blow dried, honey. Yes.
And she was all up on him too.
He was.
Like,
He was
fine.
like,
Is also
looking like a cornball.
If you look at it though, this is the first time I've noticed this as well too. When they go to the dance and they all in their bathing suits or whatever, they pile his coats on him, right? He's holding all the coats or whatever. He first kind of, takes, his joint off or whatever. Monroe kind of swole, but you didn't really get to see it because they piled the coats. All right, little Monroe, go ahead, bro.
So
yeah, they were all a little lame to be seniors. By senior year, you should have this shit figured out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not piling up 6 deep in the car to go with my boys to Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's just not happening. I'm sorry. This is not. We ain't got no women coming with us? Nah, I'm good.
Well, it was all about the bromance, though. It was all about the camaraderie and the bromance that they all had.
That shit has a limit. that shit has a limit.
Ryan's like, no.
Nah, bring me a 2-piece back. I'm not piling up in the car six cats. It's not happening. All right, D, what you got on your the blackety blackest?
Right. I mean, and so, because now I'm gonna have to hear your mouth on why it got to be black. But
Yep.
So these are my 2, and you're gonna question why they're black, and it's really a man thing for the second one that I'm gonna say. But we're gonna go with the black man thing. We're talking about a black movie.
Fine. If you preface it with that, I'm gonna let it be. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Not gonna let it be.
All right. So for sure, passing Jane to your homeboys. Like, first thing I thought was Drake loving the crew. I said, man, that's just that. So he passes girl on off, and more so, he let her. Dude was like, yeah, okay, I know that you don't want to be here, but you finna do this with me, And that's just a man thing. But again, we talking about black movies, so that was one of the black things.
No, I'm gonna let you add that one. It's just a rough. Rewatching it at this age, it's just a rough scene. It's one. I don't think that scene even gets made today. I don't think you can even.
No, not in this movie.
Yeah. You couldn't even.
Movement, no.
You couldn't even do that today. But now all I can think about is, so I got a daughter. She'll be in school one day, and she might be a sweetheart maybe, and this poor unsuspecting baby, just she made a decision obviously, but her judgment's so clouded and blah, 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 blah. And then for him to turn around on top of that and make that as his escape route.
Yeah, because he had mentioned earlier, like,
he was tired of her.
Jane, right? So that's how you get rid of her, really?
Yeah. You just couldn't break up with her. You had to do, play. It's just tough to watch at this age. Like, it is. God, it's rough.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
But that's some nigga shit. I ain't gonna go ahead.
And then when Grady was when they were leaving the Splash Jam, Grady and his date, and she wanted to go eat, and he didn't want to take her to go eat. He was trying to go bone or blend. He was trying to go get it, and he did not want to take her to get no food, And I'm just like, damn.
And he faked the injury, like, oh.
Yes.
That man said he had sardines and saltine crackers. You ain't got to eat. Where were they going to eat anyway, though? At that
hour on the college campus.
On the college campus. Where were they going to eat?
Yeah.
No. But, I mean, it must have been somewhere because she felt like, hey, you can take me to get some food.
Yeah, and he clearly did because she was ready to go when they got back to the room. So,
but look, right, and so but when they were walking back up to the room, he still had that little limp going. He played that little role.
You got to play it all the way through. You got to play it all the way through. Once you put it out there,
terrible.
Yeah. So
that was a good one.
Yeah, that's those are mine for now.
All right, so I had a couple. So the blackest thing that happens throughout this whole movie is pledging. Not to say that other, Latino or white frats don't pledge or whatever, but not the way we pledge.
Yeah.
So the whole portrayal of that process, the and I didn't really get to experience this, obviously, but it happened before my time. But the whole being above ground and everybody knowing you on and having these crossing ceremonies on the yard, yada 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 yada. Like that's just some black shit. Like that, yeah, that just don't happen in other fraternities, in other Greek life. It just doesn't happen. In the middle of dapping them room, and let me say this too, they had a big ass room for 2 people. That room was pretty sizable because they was fitting 6, 7 people in there quite comfortably. But anyway, I don't know what dorm they was in the black HBCU, but whatever. They had that big spool as they were using as a table. Swear to Jesus, we had one of them joints at U of I at our house.
Now.
On our porch, we had the spool was our table outside on our porch when we rented this house sophomore year at U of I. And I saw them in many different people's houses. I don't know where these spools came from. I don't know what they actually were like, what cable came off them. I don't know what they were holding, but I saw them things all over campus and only at black people's houses. So I don't know how we was coming up at them, but we were coming up on them. So that part was black. Cleaning the Jordans. So there's a scene where they talk, Dap is trying to get them to go somewhere that Friday. Now, back on the yard with them to go talk or whatever. They're like, nah, we got to go to the party or whatever. And Kadeem is toothbrushing his Jordans while he's having the conversation.
That's me. Yeah. Well,
I've got this down. I'm mad I even typed it out, Kenya, but you already said it, so I can say the townie versus college kids situation. I'm not sure that didn't happen with white locals and white university students. I'm assuming it probably did, but I didn't experience it, obviously. In my experience, us versus the locals was a thing at U of I and at Illinois State. It was a thing. So that resonated with me as very black. And we never had issues with the white locals. It was always the black locals.
Always, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and then your mama jokes that they was cracking on the car on the way back from Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
It ain't a black scene, a black movie with some black college kids if you ain't cracking some of your mama jokes.
You gotta be doing it. You
gotta be cracking some of your mama jokes. So those are mine. I think that came across as like the blackest scenes. All right, would this movie have been better with Denzel or Angela Bassett in any role you could think to put him in? I say, and I'm gonna jump out the window on this one first. I'm gonna say yes, Denzel should have been Dap.
I like Lawrence Fishburne as Dap, though.
I do too. I think Denzel would be better. Because I think Denzel is better in everything.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Can't see it?
I like the cast just being.
I can't see Angela as Rachel or Tisha Campbell, and I can't see Denzel anywhere in there.
No.
Denzel could have been Coach.
Denzel's too young.
If you gotta put him, well, then he don't need to be in the movie.
He's a better actor than Lawrence Fishburne. He could have been Dap and been a better Dap. And Lawrence Fishburne was quick to want to show his little thing too. Y'all.
Oh, with after they threw the water on him.
Oh no, man, he was in the tap.
Yeah.
Lawrence thought he was slick with that. I wasn't looking, but I saw you. Denzel would have been better. That's all I'm saying. I can't see Angela. I can't see her because Angela, as we've talked about before, looked 40 when she was 20 and looks 40 when she's 60. Like she's looked 40 her whole fucking life. But a good 40 though. But Denzel could have took Lawrence's place. That's just my personal opinion.
I don't see it.
No? All right. That's just me.
He's not edgy enough.
He's not edgy enough.
No.
He was not gonna take you to train.
I would not have. I don't know. I don't think I would have believed him in that role. It's just something about Lawrence Fishburne's strong jawline, and he was like, just the pro-black brother. He sold it for me. I can't see.
You said Denzel too pretty to be a revolutionary,
and kind of suave-ish, like, yeah, come on. I mean, even though he showed us something different in Training Day and all of that, but
even in Training Day he was suave. I give you that.
Yeah.
I give you that. Denzel, as we talked about before, got the coolest walk in movie history. So maybe he couldn't have pulled the on-campus revolutionary off. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything's better with Denzel, so I'm always gonna find a way to get him in the movie. All right. So most iconic character. If you had to pick one, who would be your most iconic character from this flick?
For me, Dap. For me.
Dap is on my list. Why?
Well, I feel like his character learned the most. You know, his character battled the most with everything. You know, he battled with his friends, and he battled with the school. You know, the president. You know, he battled with his peers. You know, he battled with himself, with his friends. Like he was constantly told, like, man, you need to chill, or you know, his girl telling him, you're so judgmental. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he had to learn a lot about himself as well as what was going on around him, you know, and how to handle people, how to treat people, how to respect other people's differences and you know, ideas and motivations and what they want, and it's not the same as what you want, and it doesn't have to be. I feel like he learned a lot, you know, through as in his character. So I feel like for me, he would be the standout in the film for me.
I like that. I'm gonna go with Dean, Big Brother Almighty. And I think it's because, you know, a lot of times if we just go back to like the stereotypes of light skin, dark skin, they tried to play him a lot because they thought maybe he was soft. You know, Lawrence Fishburne stayed in his face, and it wasn't until he was like, no, stop. No, we're not doing that. You can watch Watusi, your ass back there. He had to, I think, prove himself a lot, like, because they just kept coming at him. So I think he was iconic, and because that was our first time seeing him just so fine and fly, like the hair and he was so polished that I think in the movie everybody was like, damn, like he looks dope. But even with that, he still had to be a leader, and he still had a lot to learn as well. So when he and Lawrence Fishburne came together at the end with the wake up and just stared at each other and finally gave each other like a little love, it was like we're on opposite sides, but we don't have to be.
Yeah.
Right.
So I thought he had an iconic role, and people probably quote more of his lines than they do Lawrence Fishburne's in the movie than Daps. So he definitely made a great impact on the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, it's not even so much what he said, it's the way he's, you know, inflection is just so. Giancarlo's is dope. Like anytime something happens and I'm unaware he's gonna be in it and he shows up on screen, I'm like, oh shit, Giancarlo's in this?
Yeah.
It's already.
Like, this movie is verified now. Or TV show. When he showed up on The Mandalorian, I was like, oh, yep. Yep. So those, I had 3. Those are definitely in my top 3. And then I gotta put Half Pint in there.
Oh yeah.
Gotta put Half Pint in there. One, because his name is Half Pint, and that's just hilarious in and of itself. But just because he also, I think, Shanine, you touched on Dap's journey. I think he went through this journey, and he probably went the wrong way, right? Like, I think it's interesting because they make mention that Dap was online and didn't make it for whatever reason.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, because he said you're gonna drop like your cousin did, and I'm like, okay, so is that what happened? And so is that why he got the beef?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. It's internal in him. That's why he got this Greek system beef and blah blah. Now, did he drop because he couldn't take it? Did he drop because it wasn't in line with his pro-black thinking? What did he drop because he wasn't with motherfuckers beating his ass?
Right.
Yeah, all these things probably maybe played a bit of
factors could play
yeah,
a part.
but the fact that he was even interested and
Yes.
joined, like
Yes.
tried to join, is like this little nugget that very rarely gets spoken on about this movie.
Yes.
So in
I
some point,
caught that last night.
at some point in Dap's growth evolution thought process, being Greek was all right. I don't know where that changed. And did his now revolutionary stance happen before or after he was online?
Right.
Yeah.
Was it a reaction to him dropping and now saying, no, well, I dropped because, you know, pro-black and blah, blah, blah. So was this like his shield? Interesting thing. But I still say half pint have to be in there, because if you say half pint, everybody immediately laughs.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just giggle like half pint. And then he just has some I think a lot of people can relate to half pint in a certain way. Maybe you weren't a virgin as a dude when you went to school and, you know, blah, 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 blah. But half pint had this, the frat is going to make me mentality.
Yeah.
When Dap says that, you know, sororities and fraternities change folks, I think the folks that it really changes are the folks that need to lean on the fraternity or sorority for an identity. They weren't wholly formed before they joined, and the fraternity or sorority encompasses who they are now. Like everything I'm about is about this.
Right.
As opposed to some people who come in and it's like, this is a piece of me. I'm in it. Like I appreciate what we're doing and where we're going and what we want to do. But this ain't just, I'm not just a sigma. I'm not just an iota. I'm not just an alpha. I'm not just a delta. That's just one part of me.
Yeah.
So to see him kind of devolve, I'll say, and let the Greek life become who he is, we've seen that, as Dap said, a million times in folks.
So let me ask you all this. I'm sorry, Brian.
No, go ahead.
That more in undergrad, people that pledge in undergrad versus grad, or like?
I think more, I would say more. I say the percentages are probably more skewed the younger you are. Mm-hmm. But it definitely happens no matter when you become a member. Some folks become a member. Some folks have little interest in doing it when they're younger, and then they get older and they see the value in it, outside of the partying and the letters and the strolling and all that bullshit you go do on campus. They see the value in it, in the work. So they do it later. Some people don't have chapters on their campus, so they do it later. Some folks, just because of bullshit, you know, social blah, 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 don't get a chance to do it on their yard, so they do it later.
Okay.
But I've seen some 40-year-olds like get completely wrapped up in being an alpha, and it's like they're 19 again. I've seen them completely fall back into silly shit, and I'm like, bruh, what are you talking about? Like, you crossed last week and you're 40. Shut the fuck up. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
But it's probably more prevalent when you're younger and just more naive and more wrapped up into. I would say this. I think people that become, and Neen can speak to this, that become, from her perspective at least, become Greek later on in life, do it for different reasons than people that join earlier in life.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you feel about that, Neen. What do you think?
Well, I mean, me personally, I joined later on because of the BS that was going on the campus, and they got shut down, and so I couldn't do it on campus, you know. But that was so it, like you said, right? Some people, they do it for different reasons. It was something that I always wanted to do while I was in undergrad, but I didn't have the opportunity. Mm-hmm. And as far, you know. Yes, women can be 40, can be 50, can be 30, and their sorority is going to be their life. Like, there are some people who, you know, it's just, or there are the people who they do it because they feel like this is gonna give me a little clout, you know? Mm-hmm. So yeah, people do it for various reasons. I'm the person who I did it later on in life, but I definitely didn't do it feeling like, oh, this is gonna make me Shanine. No, Shanine was already Shanine, and this is just an added bonus for me personally. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a lot, and it's very interesting. And to do it undergrad and then grad, you know, there's a difference, and even just going back to how we hate on each other. You know, I've been hated on because I did it in graduate chapter and not undergrad. Like, I got hated on in 2020 for that, actually, because I did grad chapter and not undergrad. And so somebody who's not in my sorority but another sorority actually hated on me because I did it later on in life as opposed to undergrad, you know. So feeling like, oh, I'm not real, I'm not authentic because I'm on paper as opposed to
the shit we decide to be divisive.
My ass beat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If that's what they do. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know. So, you know, that all of that is weird. And it just goes back to the different layers that we have you know, because we still hate on each other for various petty stuff that, girl, you know what I'm saying? We in the same divine nine. So you my sister, you supposed to be my sister, but you hating on me, but it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but to circle back to your point, Kenya, it's just back to the movie. It is interesting to see this spiral that Half Pint in his head is coming up on, but watching it, he's going down in.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, but he's just confused and lost in the moment and yada yada yada. But he would be if I had my Mount Rushmore -1, it would be Dap, Julian, and
Half Pint.
Yeah, would probably be the three that you walk away from this movie remembering the most.
Yeah. Agreed.
So you know what? I'm gonna give one little honorary.
Okay, we got another spot on Mount Rushmore. Who else we got? Put them up there.
Jane, let's go with Jane. Jane played herself. She played herself. She allowed herself to get played. You know what I'm saying? And so I didn't mention this when we were talking about scenes. And so even the love scenes between Dap and Rachel and versus Julian and Jane were quite different. You know, like you could tell their love scene was, they were cohesive, they were together, connected. You could see that there was love there. The love scene between Julian and Jane, it looked like she was just all into him. You know, like they painted that picture to make us feel like she was all into him and, you know, idolizing this man and things like that. So she played herself.
Yeah,
but that was a classic. That was a classic look at a woman. You know what I'm saying? In that environment, you know, and how she can get wrapped up in all of the drama behind it and fawning over some man who's really just kind of looking at her like, yeah, whatever. You know, I'm tired of you now.
Yeah.
You know. So I'll add her to that little list. She definitely got played.
I can live with that. And even in that scene you're talking about with Dap and Rachel, like Rachel's on top at one point, right? Like there's a give and take here. She's even in control of that situation,
right?
Their love making, and there's none of that shown with Julian and.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna say this though, he did lick her like from her forehead down to her lips to a kiss. So that was the only time I saw him in a giving.
Interacting with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a giving position, if you will, position.
An entanglement.
Right. That was the only time I didn't see her like serving him or catering to him and his needs, you know, and that whole thing. Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this, completely divergent. We off the fucking movie, we off script in a mug right now, but I'm curious.
Oh,
so, I'm curious. So what is it about? I'm trying to figure out the way to say this. So I used to call girls in college, this is crass, and I'm just putting it out there, 2, 3, 4 hoes. I'm just calling it what I called them.
Oh yeah.
You had 2 numbers, 3 letters, or 4 wheels, and chicks fell out all like to set it out for these cats. What is it about athletes? I even get it about athletes. Actually, I'm not even gonna ask about athletes. I even get it about dude with a car. That's convenient and blah blah blah. What is it about Greeks? Why Greek men? What is it about that is alluring to women on college campuses? I
think I can clump all 3, the 2 numbers, 3 letters, 4 wheels. Women liked men in positions of power or what they see as power. So if your man is like on the squad, you're like, yep, my man, number whatever. I almost said my man's number in college, like number 22. No.
Wait, let me go. I'm looking at 22.
He played football, but anyway.
Oh, I'm looking it up right now. Don't you think I'm not?
So it's just like it goes. It's like timeless. Women like men in positions of power. So if he is the president of the drama club and you in a drama club, you want to date the president of the drama club. I mean, I think that's why people get into it with not only the 2, 3, 4, and I don't know why it had to be 2, 3, 4 hoes.
I was young. Excuse me.
Because
and at the time I didn't have a 2 or 3 or a 4, so y'all was.
What's funny with that though is all the guys in those positions like a certain type of female too. So it's not just us chasing them; they would come for us as well. So
interesting.
But I'm going to stand firm on that positions of power. You want, just like I think the guys would like someone that is like doing her thing. You like that. You're drawn to that. You're drawn to that power.
I agree.
She's like, I agree. Okay.
I agree. I mean, I agree. You know, I can't say that I was like, I wasn't, I can't say that I was extra attracted to Greeks in college. Definitely athletes, but you said that you wasn't gonna go with the athletes, so we ain't gonna go with the athletes. But,
No, yeah. Start it up now. Athletes. Why athletes?
Well, yeah, I like an athletic build, so that would just be part of that main reason right there. Is, you know, I just like a nice body.
I get that. Yeah.
Don't flex on him, Brian. Flex on him.
I get that. Anyway.
But look, so I'm gonna read a comment. Somebody, Jamal Matuka, he said,
"That's my frat. What up, boy? Hey, boy."
He said he's commenting on when we were talking, or I guess maybe when I mentioned Jane with the love scene between her and Julian and how she was serving him. And so Jamal said, isn't that the essence of love, to serve, not be served?
You have to serve each other is the
it's
essence.
Reciprocal, Jamal. You know that. Stop it.
The essence is we're serving each other.
Yes.
And Jamal Jane got played in that movie, okay?
Yeah, she did. That's
played. Blizzade. All right. We gonna get back on topic. Thanks for diverting from me real quick. All right, so we got the most iconic character, watch scenes, yada yada yada. We got the blackest scenes. I think we done got through most of them. So let's circle to some bigger picture items. Is this the best movie that some of these actors have been in? And there's some iconic actors in here for a lot of reasons. Well, let's start. Lawrence Fishburne. Best movies ever been in? I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no to that.
What's the best movies ever been in?
I'm going to give him Boys in the Hood. As the dad in Boys in the Hood, pretty dope.
Okay.
Pretty dope role to me for him.
Even though him and Cuba was like 5 years apart, but we're gonna let that piece of it slide.
It's that jawline I talked about earlier. He just
Doing that damn jawline.
He just looked older and stronger or something. He was great in that as the dad, I thought.
Nah, he was solid.
Yeah.
Name Lawrence, best movies ever been in? She's pulling up his IMDb right now.
Yeah, I am actually. Because he's been in so many. But this is not the best movie that he's been in. I definitely liked him in Boys in the Hood. I liked him in What's Love Got to Do with It.
Ooh,
Eat cake, anime. Eat cake.
That was, yeah. I forgot about What's Love Got to Do with It. That tops yeah.
All right, so that's all right. So you bumping Boys and you putting What's Love Got to Do with It in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Furious Styles, he was great.
Furious Styles.
And he gives me the same kind of vibe.
This is Furious 10 years later.
Yeah. Yes.
And see, maybe Rachel could have been Angela. Maybe Angela Bassett could have been Rachel.
Look at my face. Mm-mm.
But who's the mama? Who's Trey's mama in Boys in the Hood? Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Mm-mm.
Right. She played a mama, not a college student.
Right.
But again, this plays in Angela looking 40 when she was 20. So all right, I'm gonna let you have it.
Exactly.
All right. So we're going. I'm going to Matrix. That's just.
That's on the list.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I got a whole dog fight happening. Hey, get at it. Go.
That was on the list actually. So I think we covered all.
And that's just because The Matrix is just one of my favorite movies. So, down.
Let me see.
With the dogs?
Yes.
These two are going crazy. Hey, I'm filming here, people.
Still going at it.
Go. No, stop. Get out. Go. Anyway, sorry about that.
Do you have any more comments?
She's gonna come right back behind me. She crazy. Anyway, all right. So what about Tisha? Now, I'm going to, usually we say movies, but I'm going to expand this one, and we'll just say best work, because a lot of these people are on TV shows as well. So I'm going to expand this one. Tisha, her best piece of work?
No. She was just constantly getting played, so.
All right, so what's the best piece of work then? Boomerang? My Wife and Kids? House Party?
My Wife and Kids with Martin as a close second.
Okay.
I like Martin.
Martin? Okay. I'm gonna say Boomerang. She was only a Boomerang for like 5 seconds.
Yes.
A few snippets here and there, but she was hilarious. I remember her.
Yeah.
I've grown less.
My height, doggy style.
But my height, my weight. Yeah. And as I've grown older, I've grown less and less fond of Martin as a TV show. So.
Oh my gosh, I've been hearing people say that lately. Still my favorite.
Mine too. I think it's just a sign of the times. Like we're just more serious right now about things. And
no, this was happening 8 years ago.
Oh wow.
It doesn't age well. Anyway.
Okay, just stop talking.
Fine.
Next.
Fine. You like that goonery shit? Fine. That's you. Fine. All right. So Chief Campbell, y'all gonna.
On that. I wish we could.
I'm gonna give. No. I'm not gonna even give a Boomerang. I really liked her in My Wife and Kids. I really liked her in that show. So I'm gonna give it that. Jasmine Guy, obviously not. She wasn't in it long enough. We're all gonna say different world.
Yeah, different world. But she definitely. I watched her in the dance scenes, and she was super on point, but she was a dancer as well.
Yeah, she's a trained dancer. Yeah. So, who else we got in this? I'm forgetting. Giancarlo. See, now this is rough. Giancarlo. This is best role?
Ooh, as much as I liked him in this.
Don't do the right thing.
Yes, he's been in so many different things, but.
And he's never really been the leading man.
True.
This is tough. I got two here that I'm
between School Days and Do the Right Thing for me.
Do the Right Thing isn't even in mine, but okay. That's you all going to do the right thing in School Days. It's between this.
Right Thing, School Days. Gosh, he was in everything.
He's been in so much. He was in Malcolm X.
Malcolm X?
Very, very small role, but he was in it.
Mo Better Blues, he was in there.
Mo Better as the piano player. Yep.
So then, what you gonna say?
Mo Better Blues. He was good in that.
If you're not gonna say either one of those, what you gonna say?
Breaking Bad. Now, everybody, did you all watch Breaking Bad?
I didn't watch Breaking Bad.
So he was. Anybody that watched Breaking Bad knows he was like the head bad guy, but behind the scenes, you didn't even know he existed till like the 4th season or something before they finally showed him. He was superb in that role.
You're getting a lot of love on Breaking Bad too. A lot of people are agreeing with you.
Yeah, so this is tough though because he was super dope in this. But it's if I'm gonna pick, I'm gonna go Breaking Bad.
Okay.
All right, who else we got? We got
Jamal.
What Jamal say?
He said, "Stop judging Martin outside of his context."
Sam Jack.
He said, "Better Call Saul."
Better Call Saul. You know what, Jamal? I've stopped watching Better Call Saul. I only got to like maybe the season and a half mark. So if he's made a reappearance, I'm not up on that one. Sam Jack, who's got obviously a very small role in this movie. This clearly can't be his best work.
Right.
But had to mention him. What do you all think Sam Jack's best work is? Again, now you're talking about an IMDb list.
Yeah. I liked Django Unchained. He was good in that. Even though we couldn't stand the character that he played. And then
he was really running the show, which is why I loved that character. Like you figured out that he's the one that's really running the show. He said, "Who is that nigga on that nag?" That's a good role.
Let's see what else can I say with Sam.
I mean, when you talking about Sam Jack, you talking about he was in Star Wars franchise.
Extensive catalog, yeah.
Yeah, he was in as the radio host and Do the Right Thing, Jungle Fever, Snakes on a Plane. I'm just start naming shit now. I mean, you can start. You can just start naming crazy stuff. Shaft. What was that movie where he was the police negotiator? Oh, Negotiator. Negotiator. I mean, like his catalog is ridiculous.
I like Negotiator.
I'm gonna go with A Time to Kill, personally.
Ooh.
Yes, I shot them, and I hope they burn in hell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Time to Kill.
Look, he did a great job in that.
Or low key, one of my very favorite movies that doesn't get a lot of love is and I've just forgotten the name of it, so this tells you why I don't get a lot of love. But it was him and my girl from Thelma and Louise, the redhead. Her name was Charlie Baltimore. She was the spy. A Kiss Goodnight. Long Kiss Goodnight. A Long Kiss Goodnight. Excellent flick. If anybody hasn't seen it, go check it out. Action spy movie, but she's like kind of the predecessor to what what's her name? Charlize Theron does in Atomic Blonde. What's her name does in Salt. She's kind of this is very good movie. Anyway, what y'all got? Sam Jack.
I'm seeing Hateful Eight.
Damn, wasn't a fan of it.
Marvel.
Oh yeah.
He's like Hateful Eight.
I wasn't big on Hateful Eight. It was okay. He's Nick Fury, obviously, in all the Avengers movies.
Right.
I'm not thinking none of that though, but he was in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Originally.
What about Pulp Fiction?
Pulp Fiction, it would be my second. Jules.
Good one.
Pulp Fiction would be my second.
Yeah.
Excellent in Pulp Fiction. As a matter of fact.
That's my pick.
As a matter of fact, you're right. I'm flip-flopping. I usually don't do this, but I'm flipping it up. That's a good call, Neen. Pulp Fiction, Jules, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Came in my wallet. Well, which wallet is yours? The one that says bad motherfucker on it. Bill Nunn.
Radio Raheem.
Right.
That's the easy pick.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to say the stuttering dude in New Jack City.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go there.
That's good. That required real acting.
Yeah. Hey, the stuttering motherfucker. I don't even forgot his
You ain't right.
Shout
out to all the stutterers out there.
Oh, no, I'm not. He did that shit. I'm just doing what he did in the movie. I'm not mocking him. He mocked him. That's most of the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Do we need a sequel? School Daze sequel?
So, okay, now after having these conversations about why didn't Dap make line? You know what I'm saying? Who is Half Pint now? Did he change? You know, did Rachel pledge and become a Delta? Are her and Dap still together because of that? Like, I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel.
I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel
about the characters and how they evolved.
But I would like for them to come to homecoming as parents of kids in the school or something like that. I need a new storyline, but I want to see them come down for homecoming and be like, man, and then you just see how they've grown since they were there at Mission College. I think that would be super dope. And the kids, we had a different world. We had School Daze. We had Black movies and TV shows that got us hyped about college. And it's not, I mean, Grownish is as close as they've got right now.
Right.
I think that
and even that doesn't even come on regular, all the time. Exactly. Right.
Yep.
So I would love to see that whole idea right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's exactly where I was gonna go with it. Where they're all now in their late 30s, early 40s, whatever it may be. They've got a kid that's in college. The kids all happen to go to Mission because we know how our Black HBCUs are. They, the legacies and stuff. So they all come back for homecoming. And just the different dynamics at play. A Big Chill. I don't know if anybody's a Big Chill fan of the movie, but a Big Chill type of dynamic where, you have to come back for, and movies are premised off this all the time. You come back for a wedding, or you come back for the Best Man was like this, right? Like you came back for a wedding, or you come back for a funeral, or there's some major life event happening in one of the characters' lives where everybody has to rally back around. And this one, it would be homecoming. Everybody comes back for homecoming.
Everybody, because a lot of HBCU alum definitely hold down home.
Oh,
they go hard.
Absolutely, they go hard. Love, like that's, I don't know what they're gonna do this year when they can't go back for homecoming. They fucking mind. So yeah, I would love to have seen a sequel to where, like now, where everybody comes. Maybe not now. Maybe it's too late now because they be grandparents now, maybe. But 10, 12 years ago, where they would have came back and.
Yeah, I think that would be hot.
Yeah, I think that would have. Soundtrack, I think it's underrated.
Ooh, love it.
Underrated soundtrack. You got Perfect Match. You got Doing the Butt. You got Don't Want to Be Alone Tonight. You got the. You
got B1.
Phyllis Hyman song.
Yeah.
I Can Only Be Me. I liked all those. I love this soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's highly underrated.
Yeah. Really good.
And that's only because I think Doing the Butt so overshadowed everything else. It blew up into this #1 hit.
Yes.
And like number 13 on the Billboard charts. Like you go to a party now, Doing the Butt comes on and
yeah.
My 16-year-old
party going wild.
Yeah, my 16-year-old knows Doing the Butt. Like if Doing the Butt comes on, he doing, and he don't dance. He doing this shit. So I think Doing the Butt overshadowed everything else, but there's some really quality music on this soundtrack.
Yes, agreed.
Teron said the soundtrack was underrated, but it went real hard.
Yeah, Teron is right. What's going on, brother? VDP, virtual day parties, baby. There's a couple of things I noticed in this movie on the rewatch for the first time that I had noticed that I had never paid attention to before. One of them was like Boy Monroe had a little honey at the end of the movie. I don't know how that always went over my head. I just noticed the Gamma scoreboard that's outside the bone room, where they got the names of chicks that's been in the bone room.
Yes.
The tally.
On blast.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Listen, I lived in the Alpha House. We did some wild shit. We would have never had a chalkboard that had every girl's name we had been through. That's all that is canceling any other chances of ass you gonna get. But I had never noticed that before. That was crazy. What else did I notice that I had never noticed before? I think that was it. I think that was it.
What I noticed was when the president and who was the other gentleman?
The chairman of the board.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
When they were just talking about everything, and he said, who supports Black colleges? You know?
Oh yeah, we talked about the Mormons supporting.
Right.
Yeah.
Brigham Young, right?
Yeah.
The Jews support. I forget what the name of that school was. Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Who supports Black colleges?
Have you all ever donated to a Black college?
That was real. Huh?
Personally, have you all ever given money to a Black college?
I have.
I have. I've given to Tennessee State.
Why Tennessee State?
Because I know people who are close to me that go there, and
okay.
With PKO when we have to. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Reading the email. When we do our HBCU stuff every September, and so they ask us to select the school or whatever, and so that was just the school that I chose.
Gotcha. What about you, Kenny?
I've done Alcorn State, Mississippi Valley, just the same thing. People in my family that have gone to those schools, graduated, and do drives for the schools, and I make donations through them.
I have too. It's an interesting conversation to have though, right? Because since I didn't go to an HBCU, I only had, my ties are limited. And by ties, I mean emotionally. I don't really have an emotional connection to a particular school or that network because I didn't attend one.
Right.
Although we support the mission, and I think those schools are important.
Yeah.
And one of my kids down the road might attend one. So it's always unique. Like I've never given money to U of I, Illinois State, and I probably never will. But I have donated to these institutions because I, just like the president said in the movie, I think they're valuable. I know they're valuable. But this is what we were saying earlier about us not being this, we have this dichotomy, you know, we're not this monolith in Black society where it's like, is Morehouse important? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely it's important. I don't think you'll find many Black people that would argue against that. Will you donate to Morehouse though? I don't have any emotional tie to Morehouse. So why am I donating to Morehouse? Even though I support them, I get the point and the mission, I'm going to support my alumni at Michigan State because that's where I went. So it's this thing, right? It's this weird back and forth where we don't support them as hard as I think we should, but I also get why some folks don't, because they don't quite have an emotional tie to that university.
Yeah. And then with Morehouse and Spelman, it seems like every Black person that makes it, or any celebrities, they always want to donate to those two institutions.
Right.
But if everybody's donating to them, why not choose a smaller one so they can survive?
Like an Alcorn State, like a Tennessee State, like a Morgan State, like these folks that, you know, these smaller, as Dillard, in these institutions that aren't getting all the funding, and Dillard might even be too popular, but you don't Chicago State, you know, they're almost closed. And they couldn't get money. So it's but you get more notoriety and press when you donate to these other schools, the Howards, the Morehouses, the Spelmans, the Hamptons, the FAMs. That's where you can, you know, somebody might actually cover it. You give it to Morgan State and Marks, like, who, where, what, who cares?
Right.
They're the ones that really need it.
Now I have a young cousin who attends Morgan, you know, so. And in light of everything that has occurred and that's happening right now, it will definitely make me think extra hard, you know, now when I get ready to donate, you know, and will possibly even donate more or donate to multiple institutions because of everything that's going on, you know, and just knowing that it is important. Those schools are important. Those schools are extremely valuable. And I wish that I had attended an HBCU. I was only in Chicago State just for a couple of years, but you know, I wish that I had actually had that experience. So like you said, you don't have the connection that everybody else has. I would have loved to have had that opportunity. And if I had children, of course I couldn't make them go to a school. So like you have kids, maybe, like you said, maybe they'll attend. You can't make them, but that would be nice, you know, to have more of our HBCUs highlighted and supported.
Yeah, it's funny. My son, my oldest, he's at Bradley, but he really wanted to go to Xavier, and I was super excited for him to go. Right, like even for selfish reasons, like I get to, because I didn't go to, you know, I went to 2 PWI. I didn't attend an HBCU, so I didn't get the whole homecoming and all, you know, on the yard doing this and the football games and blah blah blah. I missed out on all that, that piece of it. So I was kind of hoping to live vicariously through him and go, you know, be like, woo, we going to Xavier's homecoming, New Orleans, party time, you know, whatever. So, I mean, and again, I might still get that opportunity. But yeah, since we don't have that connection, you know, I kind of do hope, quite frankly, that one of my kids winds up at somebody's HBCU so they can speak to that experience and so I can support an HBCU as a university.
And have a vested interest in it.
And with my tuition money, I just, I want to be in that. It just wasn't the right fit for him, but you know, hopefully down the road, at least one of them it will be. Anyway, ladies, great convo. Appreciate y'all. Next week, I think we're gonna do Get Out. There's a lot to digest on Get Out, so I think it's time to revisit it.
Start peeling back those.
That's right. I'm gonna get 2 of my more woke folks on this, so they can dive in deeper, and I can say, man, it wasn't even that deep. Stop that shit. You always try to go to the bottom of the ocean. But hey, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, ladies, for being aboard. Only way we want to close it out.
Look, it takes nothing for me and Shania to get into it.
Get it. This ain't even a video. Damn it. Oh well. Come on, Nene. Let me see you do the butt. A little bit of it. Yeah. Yeah.
They put go-go music on the map, didn't they?
Hey. Don't have me really doing the butt on the live, okay?
All right, we go live later.
I'm about ready to really
Later, we out.
Bye, everybody.